To the world, she's the embodiment of perfection. Designer, wife, mother, mogul. But perfection has a pulse, and beneath Victoria Beckham's glass-polished life lies a symphony of silence, sacrifice, and secrets.
She is an exception.
Thank you very much.
In every sense of the word. That's a personality and everything.
She spent decades keeping out of sight. The real question is, how much of Victoria Beckham's story has she actually allowed the world to know?
Tony, what kind of business did you have?
Electrical
It was
wholesaling.
electrical wholesaling.
My dad started with nothing. My mum and dad remortgaged their house so I could go to theatre school.
Before the fame, before the couture, there was just Victoria Adams, a shy, well-mannered girl from Hertfordshire who didn't quite fit in.
Dad worked so hard, and he expected me to do the same.
Her parents worked hard, her father owned an electronics business, her mother a former dancer, and they ran their home like a rehearsal for success. Orderly, driven, exact. But inside that tidy world, Victoria always felt slightly out of sync. She wasn't the loud one or the effortlessly cool one. School was awkward, and the teasing about her posh accent or her dad's car made her retreat even further into herself. But that isolation became her blueprint. While others played, she planned. While others chased attention, she studied how to own it.
Prove yourself or change in any way to be taken seriously as a fashion designer?
No.
Okay.
I think that there was a naivety back then. You know, if I had known now, then, if that's the right way, I might not have had the courage to do it. But, you know, there was a naivety that had a sense of freedom about it.
She fell in love with fashion early. The clean lines, the control of it, the way clothes could turn insecurity into confidence. To her, style wasn't vanity. It was transformation. Every polished look, every composed smile, every inch of posh was born here, from a girl who decided that if she couldn't blend in, she'd stand out flawlessly. It started in 1994, a call for a new girl group. Victoria Adams walked into that audition in black heels, a little reserved, a little nervous, but with a spark that couldn't be ignored. She wasn't the loudest voice in the room or the flashiest dancer, but she had something else: composure.
With the Spice Girls, you know, it was just great to travel the world, be with my best friends, have fun, you know, really spread the girl power message. And, you know, for me now, it's still about that, but it's about...
When the Spice Girls exploded, so did the nicknames. Sporty, scary, baby, ginger, and then came Posh. It was meant as a joke, a quick label from a magazine writer who thought her sleek dresses and quiet demeanor made her sound upper class. But Victoria didn't laugh it off. She leaned in. The name became her armor, her brand, her alter ego. Posh wasn't just a stage name. It was a strategy. Behind the polished exterior, she learned how to survive chaos by mastering control. Every look, every smirk, every crossed arms, calculated. While the others embodied fun and spontaneity, Victoria became the ice that kept the fire balanced. And it worked. Posh became power.
You know, and I think, yeah, I wouldn't be as famous if I wasn't with David, and I don't think David would be as famous if he wasn't with me. I think we really complement each other, and it's all so superficial. At the end of the day, you know, we're going to get old and wrinkly at some point, and we love each other, and you have to remember that. It's not about competition, I mean.
And then, love entered the frame. Fresh off Spice World domination, Victoria's transformation from posh spice to pop royalty had barely settled when she met the rising Manchester United star with the golden right foot, David Beckham. He was calm, soft-spoken, everything her world of flashing cameras and screaming fans wasn't. Together, they were perfection, or so it looked. The Spice Girls had given her a name, but meeting David gave her a story. Suddenly, Posh wasn't just a brand. She was half of Posh and Becks, Britain's royal couple without the crown. From coordinated outfits to Vogue covers, every move was watched, copied, obsessed over.
You know, we were a job, you know, we were a commodity, whereas even though the Beckhams are a commodity to a certain extent, we're married, we're normal people, and we're very much in love. So even if the bubble was to burst, we've still got each other, and we've still got the kids, and that's the most important thing.
When the Spice Girls glitter faded, Victoria found herself in a strange limbo, too famous to disappear, yet no longer the Posh Spice millions screamed for. The headlines didn't stop. They simply changed tone.
in the world. You will have the paparazzi follow you if they can, you know, everywhere you go. Does that get tiring after a while?
Do you know, I mean, I can't bear it when people complain about that sort of thing. It is what it is. It comes.
She became Mrs. Beckham, photographed at airports, critiqued at fashion shows, followed to football stadiums. The cameras that once celebrated her now waited for cracks to show. By the early 2000s, Victoria was living inside a circus. Every smile, every outfit, every glance toward David was analyzed. The tabloids built stories out of shadows, jealousy, distance, loneliness, but nothing prepared her for 2004.
Would you say that was the hardest time in your marriage?
100%. It was the hardest period for us because it felt like the world was against us.
That spring, the Rebecca Loose affair allegations exploded across the front pages. David Beckham, the golden boy of English football, accused of infidelity. For weeks, it was open season on their marriage. Commentators speculated how long before she walked. But she didn't walk. She didn't cry publicly. She didn't even flinch. Instead, Victoria did something entirely unexpected. She went silent. No denials, no interviews, no outbursts. Just the image. Sunglasses, heels, perfect posture. It was the most powerful PR move of her life. The silence made her mysterious, dignified, even regal. In a culture addicted to emotional collapse, she refused to collapse for the cameras. But that silence came at a cost. Behind closed doors, friends later said she was deeply hurt, humiliated, angry. She'd always been the planner, the perfectionist, and now her life was spinning beyond her control. Yet, true to form, she turned pain into structure. If the media was going to define her as a footballer's wife, she would redefine what that meant. She'd make WAG look like power, not pity. She began curating her image. The clothes, the poses, the persona. Everything became intentional. Every appearance was a strategy.
Designer brand of the year goes to Victoria Beckham.
And slowly, the narrative shifted. The woman once pitied became the woman who endured. The scandal didn't destroy her. It transformed her. Because Victoria Beckham learned something the tabloids didn't expect. In a world obsessed with noise, silence is dominance.
I gave up worrying about what people thought a long, long time ago, you know. I don't know, I am different. Everybody says that I'm very different to what they think, and I suppose that I created.
When Victoria Beckham announced she was launching a fashion line, the industry barely hid its smirk. A pop star turned footballer's wife wanted to design clothes? Please. The critics rolled their eyes before the first sketch even hit the runway. She wasn't seen as a designer. She was seen as a brand experiment. But that's exactly why she did it.
And so I care about what my customer thinks because I want to give her what she wants. But generally speaking, I don't focus too much on anything negative. I'm a really positive person, I really am.
Victoria knew the odds. She knew the whispers. She'll last one season. It's just vanity. Another celebrity hobby. But this was different. This wasn't about proving the tabloids wrong. It was about proving herself right. Because from the beginning, fashion wasn't a pivot. It was her origin story coming full circle. Remember the insecure girl in Hertfordshire who obsessed over clothes to feel seen? She was back, only now she had global recognition, business instincts, and something to prove.
Fashion is my passion, and I've experienced so many things in the last 20 years, if you like, and finally I feel that I'm doing something that I'm not, you know.
Her debut in 2008 shocked everyone. The clothes weren't loud or gimmicky. They were precise, structured, quietly powerful, just like her. The press expected a flash and got discipline, and slowly, reluctantly, the same critics who mocked her began to call her labels serious.
It meant so much to me, it really did, because who'd have thought? I was just so overwhelmed, and still am really. I mean, to even be in a category competing with...
But credibility didn't come cheap. While her name sold headlines, it didn't instantly sell clothes. Year after year, the company reported losses, millions gone in the pursuit of prestige. Most celebrities would have quit by the second fiscal report. Victoria doubled down.
The product spoke for itself. It's all about quality. I remember Marc Jacobs saying to me when I first started, and before he'd even seen what I was doing, he said to me, make sure the quality's good. Then people can always say they don't like it, but no one can say it's rubbish.
She built her empire the hard way by hiring respected designers, learning fabric construction, and attending fittings herself. She wanted to be taken seriously, and she earned it, stitch by stitch. Fashion week after fashion week, she transformed from a celebrity curiosity to a fixture in the front row. Still, the battle for respect came with tension. Reports surfaced about internal financial strain, employee turnover, and questions about sustainability. Even the media began to ask if her empire was too elegant to survive. But Victoria didn't blink. She's weathered worse storms. For her, every loss was simply another reinvention waiting to happen.
I always want to better myself. I don't consider other designers competition. You know, for me, my competition is me from the season before. I'm very ambitious. I always want to better myself. I never sit back and say, wow, look at what I've achieved.
And through it all, she never lost control of her image. The brand was an extension of herself. Clean lines, muted tones, restraint. What others saw as minimalism was really discipline. It wasn't just fashion, it was therapy.
You know, I was so emotional because it's such a big deal. For me to have a show in Paris, it was a real highlight of my career. I had my family there, I had my friends there, and I felt so proud of my team.
By the time her collections hit Paris, the same world that laughed at her was now applauding her. Victoria Beckham had done the impossible. She turned mockery into legacy. Because when everyone expected her to fade, she built a fortress.
You know, with my business now, I just wouldn't be able to do it, you know. But I wish them so much luck and love, and it's going to be great.
And while the world still hummed Wannabe, Victoria kept her distance. The Spice Girls reunion tours came and went, but she was always too busy, too focused, too unavailable. The truth? She'd outgrown the noise. Mel B teased her for being too posh to perform. Jerry dropped cryptic hints about creative differences. But Victoria remained silent as always, not out of arrogance, but out of evolution.
I do it because I enjoy it. You know, I don't have to be doing this anymore. I do it as like a hobby, really. And I think that if things go great. You know, I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm not going to put too much.
She wasn't rejecting the past. She was curating her legacy. Her silence wasn't coldness. It was clarity. Why revisit the past when the future was already monogrammed with her initials? Then came the one storyline she couldn't edit. For years, Victoria Beckham ran her world like a perfectly organized closet. Every piece in its place, every thread under control. Her family was her proudest creation, disciplined, elegant, and always camera ready. But when Brooklyn got married, that control slipped, quietly at first, then all at once. The wedding should have been a celebration. Her firstborn grown up and in love, marrying into one of America's richest families. But behind the smiles and the Vogue spreads, something was off. Whispers started about tension between Victoria and Nicola Peltz. First over the wedding dress, then over who was really running the show. Soon, the Beckhams' famously tight-knit image began to look strained. Brooklyn, once inseparable from his mother, seemed distant. Nicola's interviews hinted at family tension. Victoria, ever the professional, kept her face straight. No public comments, no messy statements. Just silence. The same weapon she'd used her whole life. Insiders said it hurt her deeply. Not because of the dress or the headlines, but because the one thing she'd always protected, her family, had become a story she couldn't edit. The woman who built an empire on discipline was suddenly watching her own narrative twist out of her hands.
As a mother, to see my son so happy means so much. What more can you ask for?
Still, she showed up, at the wedding in photos, smiling through the noise. If there's one thing Victoria Beckham has mastered, it's composure under fire. But behind that calm exterior was a mother quietly realizing that even the most curated lives can't stop real emotion from spilling through. Yet quietly, another chapter was unfolding, one far from the tabloids. While the family headlines dominated, Victoria was rebuilding her brand's foundation. Her handbag line became one of the label's biggest success stories, sleek and structured pieces that echoed her own discipline. And with Victoria Beckham Beauty, she did something unexpected. She stripped away the glamour. Filming herself barefaced, testing products on camera, she proved authenticity could sell luxury. What began as a small, clean beauty experiment turned into a multi-million business, proof that her precision could evolve into intimacy.
I'm just gonna spice up my eye with some blonde cumin. Black nutmeg along where my lashes are.
By 2023, after decades of silence, Victoria Beckham finally let the world in, on her terms. The Netflix Beckham docuseries wasn't just a retrospective on football glory. It was a carefully crafted reintroduction of Victoria herself. For years, she'd been typecast as the cold wife, the posh fashion snob, the woman who never smiled. But here, in long-forgotten clips and fresh interviews, people saw something else: humor, warmth, and quiet resilience. Her dry wit became an internet obsession. It was the first time in years the public laughed with her, not at her. The docuseries reminded people why Victoria was different. She wasn't the loud one or the rebel. She was the strategist, the one who survived the Spice Girls breakup, the tabloid wars, the public infidelity scandals, and still found a way to win.
When you have an eating disorder, you become very good at lying.
In a rare moment of honesty, Victoria spoke about her long, private battle with an eating disorder, a struggle hidden beneath designer tailoring and a lifetime of discipline. What people didn't realize was that even this raw honesty was part of her evolution. Vulnerability became her most powerful form of control. She let the mask slip just enough to humanize herself, but never enough to lose command of her image. For the first time, the world saw the woman behind Posh. Not a brand, not a headline, just Victoria. Softer, wiser, but still undeniably in control. The girl who was once teased for her accent became the woman who turned silence into sophistication. The pop star they laughed at became the designer they respect. The wife they pitied became the woman who never broke. Every perfect pose came with a price, but perfection was always her power play.